Yeah, welcome to this broadcast. I hope this broadcast is actually running. Yeah, it's always a bit tricky and I'm always glad to have some feedback from the chat to tell me that I'm really live. Okay, this is Monday the 9th of February and it was supposed to be a regular show off, some blitz games, maybe some kibitzing online, but there is something to look forward to. There is obviously, it seems, a playoff to be held for the Grenke Chess Classics. Yeah, it's a bit difficult, all those different tournament names, the Chess Classics. This pretty short tournament, 7-round tournament, has come to an end, and the final standing saw Carlsen and Naiditsch, the German number one, so the world champion and the German number one, share first place. They both are on +2. Carlsen has won 3 games, lost 1 to Naiditsch, while Naiditsch remained unbeaten, had 2 wins and 5 draws. It's a bit surprising that there is a playoff. I didn't know it. I thought that the number of black games or something was the tiebreak. In any case, I thought, to be honest, that, I thought Naiditsch should be the winner as he beat Carlsen. So if the two shared first players had a decisive result. Okay. In the tiebreakers, it seems there should be number of wins, but they do a playoff. It seems it was announced in the official broadcast, so we are going to look forward to have this playoff. But it seems to be about 10 minutes until it starts. Now someone says in 8 minutes. Okay, difficult to get something going in this 8 minutes. What I can do is I can try to get a 3-minute game, just a quick game, and sort of warm myself up for the commentary later. I'm always having an eye on the events list. Oh, that's weird. That shouldn't have happened. Okay, but it's the board is okay, right? Yeah, playing QVC or QVC. It's a German player. I got some e4, e5 here. Bishop e2. Yeah, the idea is that bishop c5, he's got knight e5. So maybe something else. Yeah, fianchettoing should not be too bad. But yeah, he can take there, right? That's a bit inconvenient. Okay. Yeah, e5 is a little bit of an annoying move. Okay, let's prevent e5. This move looks very inconvenient. Yeah, bishop a6, rook. Yeah, they have to be a bit quicker here. Yeah, this is 3 minutes. Not my normal time control. And quite often I have time problems in 5 minutes, so have to make sure I'm quick here. Yeah, I'm trying to prevent e5. I can still do it. e5, I have d5 though. Strange move. He prepares that. Queen f6, he has e5, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe the knight over to e6 and to d4. Yeah, tricky time-wise. Queen f, maybe still queen f6. Okay, well here I can take and probably, okay, queen f6, he still has e5. Bishop takes e6 is the problem at the end of the line. Okay, maybe I should remove the rook there. f4 hangs. Queen d4 or knight. I can also move the knight to g5 or to d4.
Check.
Oops. I have to mute my sound.
Check.
Okay, so c5. Keep the knight on this nice d4 square. And now trying to put pressure on this pawn. Maybe he wants to play e5. I could have played f6. It was an idea, maybe. Yeah, I kept up with the tournaments. It's a bit difficult to play 3-minute chess and look at the chat at the same time. Yeah, not a very exciting position. It's about equal, I guess. He might be able to play knight f4 to d5, but my knight is not a bad piece on d4 as well. Yeah, I was playing a GM tournament on Mallorca. I didn't play very well, fortunately. Just got a -1 at the end, which was not very great. Lost a couple of rating points. Oh, that was a stupid move. Knight to c6. Or can I still do that? Knight f6, king f7. Looks immensely stupid, but maybe it's possible. Yeah, I have 27 seconds left.
Check.
Yeah, that's now completely okay.
Check. Time warning.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the sounds, guys. I forgot to mute the software when I was starting. Sometimes a bit irritating.
Check. Checkmate.
Oh, he ran into a mate. Okay, so now I have to make sure that I get the sounds off. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, it was it's a bit tricky to have the volume correctly. So let's see, what about this playoff? Is it happening? It should happen any minute if the information was correct there. So, any question? Yeah, this mate was a bit unexpected, I agree. Okay, so what about this playoff? Do we get it or not? I mean, we get it, I guess, but what about the time? It's supposed to be, it should start in less than 5 minutes is the information. Okay, so maybe a 1-minute game, yeah? So that I'm totally sure I get this right. Okay, I'm playing the Nakamura bullet variation, which is probably a bad idea. Everybody besides Naka is probably getting annihilated. Yeah, it's probably not a great idea, but let's see what happens. Yeah, that's not so bad. That position is in fact quite okay, unless I'm blundering stuff, of course. I would have liked to keep the queens on. Definitely would have liked that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going for counterplay on the queen side here. Ah! Rook f2. Ah, I didn't expect that one. Okay. Come on. Give me this playoffs. Okay, one more bullet game. I can do better than that, really. Yeah, this bishop d7 is what Naka is normally playing. This g6 bishop d7 stuff. That doesn't look too great. Okay, I can go here. Let's see, what is the best continuation here? Probably takes, right? So I won the queen, but I'm down to 20 seconds. I'm much too slow, especially in Blitzen. I'm totally not used to this interface. Okay, I'm too slow here for bullet. Okay, come on. Let's give me this playoff. Okay, here we go. This is just a tad too big. Why did it zoom out? I don't know why, but I'm going to fix that. Bear with me, guys. I'm close. Okay, so I had to adjust to that. We have the first game here, and this is a relay error. Actually, this is not happening. Black has played 2 e6 here. This has to be fixed. I hope it will be fixed in the relay. Yeah, 2 e6. Naiditsch was actually playing the Bogo-Indian, as he quite often does. Carlsen went knight bd2, which is the most ambitious way to play against the Bogo. It seems they play 10-minute and 2-second increments, so rather quick. Okay, this is an interesting line. White has gotten the bishop pair, and black very often attacks in a fashion with knight e4 and f5, or this a5. This is the more solid way to play it. Yeah, I know Naiditsch name is a bit cropped out, but I'm glad that I got the board on there in any case. So yeah, interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Carlsen has got the bishop pair, nice to have, and he's got some space. What black has is a very solid structure. He will probably play d6, knight bd7, sometimes c5. Yeah, putting something in the center. It's a kind of position where you just want to be solid with black. This 4b6 line, if we jump back here, this is a very solid choice. Castles, which is normally played by Naiditsch, is much sharper, so he wants a somewhat more quiet game, it seems. Okay, yeah, now it seems he's investing a bit of time here, if this is a correct relay. Yeah, it looks very normal to play d6. Another idea is to maybe take on b4, take on a1 and play b5. This is sometimes also possible. b5 as a pawn sacrifice. Okay, but he's doing it differently. He plays knight e4. Okay. Mixing ideas. Yeah, this possible f5 idea can come. Yeah, queen to d3 or queen to c2 now. And then maybe f5 will be played. Yeah, let's see. Wondering, is this a big problem? I mean, is this a big issue where to go? Sometimes you want to go to d3 in this kind of position to support d4, d5. Yeah, you can go to c2, of course, as well. Both is possible. Yeah, queen e7 looks normal now. Yeah, he played that. Maybe f5, bishop d3, then f5. Something like that. Yeah. Of course, first you have to watch out for b4. Yeah, shouldn't blunder this this pawn. Yeah, where to go? If you go to b3, it's yeah, but where else? Yeah, b5 does look bad. Yeah, account of the check or queen a3. So c5. Yeah, why not? It's probably the relatively best choice, but it's not so easy now to imagine how the bishop on a1 is getting active. d4, d5 looks difficult to play. On the other hand, black has problems to play d6 and knight d7 due to c5, c6 forking. Interesting. Black still might play d6. Okay, this is the other way to go, but not clear what f5 is actually doing. You're not going to play rook f6, g6, this kind of thing. It's not going to work. I think they will play 2 games. This makes some sense, but the whole situation with the tie break isn't that clear, because I mean, when I was watching some of the broadcast, it seemed that there is a relatively normal tie break based on some mathematics, like who has more blacks or things like that, or more wins, this kind of thing. But now they are playing a playoff, which is not a bad thing in general. It's more interesting chess, but well, let's see what Naiditsch is doing. He still has to do something with the b8 knight, yeah, and something like knight a6 is probably not a good idea. Yeah, maybe you can take on c5 and just develop, yeah, with knight c6, b takes, knight c6, possible. Yeah, you can also play knight c6 first, attack on b4. Very often you want d6, knight d7, knight f6, this kind of knight journey. But once you get d6, knight d7 in, you run into the c6 fork. So it's not so easy. Not quite sure how black should play this. I would probably take on c5, just because I don't know anything better. And then knight c6. What black has is pretty decently developed, yeah. He's not behind in development. Taking some time. I wonder if he has something entirely different. Yeah, he went knight c6. So at least I didn't talk total nonsense. b4 hangs. So this is one virtue of this move. Not easier. Queen b3, rook a8 with a tempo. On the other hand, the knight on c6 is not really that great a piece. It blocks the b7 bishop. Yeah, white has to cover b4. There's no way around it. You cannot go b5 because of knight b4 and then b takes c5. You have to play queen b3 or a move like that. Queen b3, queen c4, one of those. Bishop c3, yeah. This is a move that you really don't want to play, yeah? Give up your bishop. But on the other hand, the knight on e4 is not exactly a bad piece. Yeah, but does black really want to take? Yeah, that I expected. Takes and then maybe rook a8. Nah, okay, this is a different animal. Now rook a8, I don't know. Maybe b5. Yeah, b5 is an idea for white, getting even more space on the queen side. b5, b6. But at the moment it's not so easy to do, as c5 might hang. Yeah, d takes c5. This doesn't look so easy for black. The bishop on b7 is not that great, and b5 is a problem. I don't know. I would prefer white here, I guess. White looks easier for me to play. Knight on c6, knight on e4. They are not so stable. I don't really know. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe queen f6. Yeah, this might be an idea, gaining in tempo and try to enter with the rook. But still, yeah, b5, c6. This is tricky, and d7 is hanging, of course. It's not clear what black should do now to protect d7. Now white is better here. White is better. Not quite sure how much, but white is definitely for choice. Yeah, he's got these ideas with b5, d7 is weak. Yeah, and now a move like rook d8, this is not a good sign if you have to play that. Maybe black is still okay, but definitely white is for choice. Yeah, on a move like knight e5, you're going to play knight d4, keep the pieces on the board. And where are you putting the knight? You can put it to e7, but then c6 is coming. Note that the rook on d8 is unprotected. Yeah, and knight a7 or knight b8, there's probably queen a5 coming. That doesn't look good. Huh. Now that looks like a very bad position, actually. I really don't know what he should do. Maybe still knight e5. But then you can also take and play c6. Not knight d4, taking and c6. It's very, very problematic. Yeah, white can take and play c6, sends the black bishop back, or knight d4. But knight takes e5 and c6 is something that I think white should do, putting the black bishop on a very, very, very bad square. Yeah, takes on e5 and c6. Yeah, this is something where spending a moment of time makes sense, because it's a very crucial situation. Knight takes e5 or knight d4, but knight takes e5, I think this should just be strong. And then now c6, yeah, using the unprotected situation of the rook. So he played it. Yeah, and now the bishop has to go somewhere uncomfortable, yeah, bishop there. Yeah, how does white continue though? It looks very nice, but how do you continue? Something like rook d1 looks very normal. Yeah, I don't see a forced way forward yet. Maybe Carlsen will show us the way, but at least I don't see a forced way to win. Maybe something like rook d1 and possibly queen a5, activating the queen, so that the rook is actually doing the pinning, not the queen. Then queen a5, queen a7, b6. This, yeah, like queen a5, queen a7, b6. This could be an idea. Of course, black has a hard time to make a move here anyway. Yeah, don't really know what he should do. Queen a5 looks like a huge problem. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very problematic to play. Queen f6 or something. Yeah. The one problem is, if black plays d6, pawn to d6, then queen a5 is attacking the c7 pawn, and how do you ever protect it? Yeah, someone suggested the king walk to e8. This might be an idea, trying to get the king to help, but not sure if you can get this in. Maybe actually rook d1, maybe actually d5. Yeah, d5, queen d6, trying to play e5. It looks terrible. D5 is a terrible move. I mean, if you go d5, yeah, he did it, but I mean, he played it actually. But this basically tells you, okay, this bishop is never moving. Queen d4 and f4, yeah, kills the bishop, and yeah, kills the bishop. It's just inappropriate. Don't have any big problem with the church. Don't want to kill bishops, but it makes the black bishop a really bad piece on c8. Yeah. Queen moves. If black takes on d4, the white will take with the pawn, of course. And the pawn on d4 and the pawn on f4 will completely make this bishop on c8 never ever move again. So black has to move the queen, and then white will play f4. This is the kind of, it's almost a pre-move situation. Yeah, that's an awful game for Naiditsch to start the playoff with. Yeah, this is really so bad. You don't need to be Magnus to win this as white. Or did he already resign? I don't know. I don't see anything like that. No, he's continuing. Now white will play f4, possibly rook to a7. You can also march the king up. Black will get the king to d6 and try to just stay. No, but it won't work. I mean, this is pretty clear. It's simply a bit too much. King, what is the easiest way to play? Probably rook to a8, king to b4, and then some kind of b6 could work. Yeah, operating, if you go rook a8, you're pinning on the 8th rank, and an idea like b6 and then bishop a6 is close to winning the bishop. So something like that might be the way to go. Of course, white can also, and maybe white can also try to play on the king side with h3, g4, or here rook h3, those kind of ideas. And it's still fairly solid. It is a very nightmarish position, but yeah, Naiditsch is hanging on. He's not the kind of person who easily gives up or quickly gives up. h4. So he's saying that after h5, which completely closes the position, white has a winning idea. Probably he has. Yeah, okay, I actually... So this is going to open it up, right? Rook g3, rook h4, or g4. Now rook h3 maybe. Yeah, then g5, okay. So probably white should take on g6 and then play rook h3. Yeah, and rook h3 now, going to invade on the h file. And Naiditsch is doing a really great job here to keep things at least a little bit together. But now he couldn't recapture because of rook h8, yeah, and the bishop on c8 was trapped. Quite nice. Yeah, black can never take on g5 because of rook h8. Probably, how are you going to do this? Maybe like g3, bishop f3, king e3, king f4. This is good, yeah. Yeah, he's doing it like that. Okay, e5, but now you can take d5, I guess. Or not. Yeah, of course, black is not resigning. This would be too early. Can always try to hang on. Yeah, now c7 gets lost. Yeah, takes on e5, takes on c7, and the pawns are... he's still hanging on. White wins, but it's still somehow continuing. How many pawns is that actually? Yeah, okay, that's over. He resigned, I think. Naiditsch resigned the game. Yes. Okay, well, a very nice win by Carlsen. Pretty much dominating from 1 point. If we look at this around here, it looked fairly solid. But right here, when we got to this position, when the b4 and c4 pawn were having this advanced position, this b5 idea was already a bit tricky for black. He had problems with the coordination of his pieces. The knight on c6 especially was a bit of an unlucky piece. Okay, I'm going to try to set something here to get rid of this window, and I'm on the next one here, the return match. So this means that Naiditsch definitely here with white has to win. Yeah, there is no way around it. There are questions in the chat about my own my own chess, which is not so interesting. I mean, considering what we are watching here. I played a GM event last week, but I didn't do very well. I finished with -1. I lost 2 games, one game, the rest were draws. So not very inspiring. Okay, so Naiditsch has to win this. I'm not totally sure about the rules in case of a possible tie. If he is able to win the second game and goes to a 1-1 tie, if they play a blitz game, I don't know. The rules are not clear to me. It does not seem very likely that he is coming back from it, but you never know. Naiditsch is he's a fighter, and he has beaten Carlsen the last 2 tournament games, which is probably a great statistic. I don't think many people ever beat him 2 times in a row in tournament chess. So we can be still quite, yeah, thrilled about this game. This GM event was about 2,400 rating average, I think slightly below that. So it wasn't a super strong event. I should have scored +1 or +2 to keep my rating, but it didn't work out. This game is just being broadcasted on ICC. It is played in Germany and played in Germany and I think in Baden-Baden, where Grenke Leasing is situated. Such a GM tournament as I played, just let's say a regular, normal GM tournament, has got, in this case it had 3 Grandmasters, a couple of IMs, 1 or 2 FIDE Masters, I think. Okay, so I guess they will start shortly. Yeah, what can we expect here? Yeah, Naiditsch is an e4 player, and yeah, Carlsen definitely only needs a draw here. So would be interesting. Maybe we get some Berlin. Not sure. Maybe Naiditsch is trying something else then, if he does not want a Berlin wall in this decisive game. If you really have to win. Yeah, that's a question. Do I have any tips how to psychologically recover after a blunder or loss, especially in long tournaments? Yeah, I don't think there is a particularly great piece of advice. No, not really. Just continue. I don't think there is a fantastic advice to that. But, well, here's a question that's interesting. Why did Baramitsa get invited to Baden-Baden? No offense, but he's not so strong and not that young. I agree on the 2 points. He's not super strong. I mean, like number 300 in the world. The thing is, it's a pretty straightforward procedure for this tournament. They said we want 2 German players in it, and they just they played a qualification tournament last year, and in this tournament Baramitsa got 2nd place. First place was taken by Naiditsch, and the other German top players all took part, like Daniel Friedman, Georg Meyer, who else was there? Some of the younger guys, yeah, and yeah, Baramitsa got 2nd place. So we indeed get e4, e5, not another modern. Let's have a look. and probably the Berlin. Yeah, everything else would be would be a surprise. Ah yeah, okay, Naiditsch is playing the 4 knights. That's interesting. I mean, not a very interesting opening per se, but he avoids the Berlin Wall that way. Maybe now d3, d6, and something like knight e2. This can lead to a full game. Ah, interesting. Bishop g5, knight e7. Knight e7 is an interesting move there. Black is unpinning. This bishop g5 pin is sometimes an issue, of course. And with knight e7, he just accepts a double pawn on f6 and says, okay, you can double my pawn, but I got the bishop pair, and I'm able to now to play without the pin. Well, there's a question. Bishop d6 in the 4 knights is a decent line, but certainly not in Black's interest here. Yeah, I'm curious what Naiditsch is doing now. I'm not sure if he's an expert on that. Quite often, White plays knight h4 now, I believe, to anticipate the move knight g6. Yeah, knight h4 I think is a move. It's interesting that Carlsen didn't take on c3. Quite often Black is taking on c3 and only then does something else. But I don't really see... Okay, he's doing something else entirely. Rook e1. That I did not expect at all. Yeah, something like c6 and knight g6 looks very, very okay. To be honest, I always, or not always, but sometimes I have a hard time to be very scared here for the black side. I play e4, e5 myself as black, and this like d3 and so on looks very, very inoffensive. Yeah, I guess if Carlsen loses, they have another game probably with blitz chess. I'm not quite sure about the time control. There's a question why this city is called Baden-Baden and not just Baden. I don't know. I have no idea. It is the Grenke Chess Classic because the sponsor is a German company, Grenke Leasing, and the boss of this company, Wolfgang Grenke, is the sponsor of this tournament. Yeah, he also finances the Baden-Baden Bundesliga team. Okay, so let's see. Knight to g6. Black has managed to regroup this c6 knight, which often is not very well placed. And I think after a move like h6 he should be fine. Maybe after h6 knight h4 could be a move. Okay, but knight it just retreats. Yeah, well, this is just totally okay for black. I actually would be preferring black here a little bit. Not by a mile or anything, but black has the pawn on c6, which is nice. It takes away d5 and b5 squares. Black is very comfortable. You can even think about preparing d6, d5 in the long run, or you can play moves like a bishop to e6, trading off the b3 bishop. Yeah, very nice. White doesn't have many plans here. What is he going to do? Trying to get some active play. Maybe knight e2, g3, but it's just equal. Yeah, Carlsen is taking a little bit of time. Someone says I have a bias for Carlsen or a bias for black. I don't know. I mean, it's just a case where the knight on c3, if you look at this piece, it's looking at d5 and b5. Black already has managed to regroup his problem piece to g6, and c6 is taking away important squares. It's very difficult to find a way forward for white. How are you going to ever get to d4 or whatever? Not easy. Not easy. Bishop g4, interesting. He wants to provoke h3. I don't think that after h3, Carlsen will take on f3. He will drop back to e6. And okay, he's threatening knight h4 now, so white probably has to play h3. Oh, okay. That's a very interesting way to play. Very interesting. Now after g4 he wants to sacrifice a piece and prove that this is a very, very awkward pin. Very interesting play. Knight h4 is of course a threat. So Carlsen is not playing for a draw or something. He's not influenced by the fact that a draw is okay. It just looks like he's trying to play the best moves. And okay, this is a very awkward pin. So g4, knight takes, h takes, bishop takes, and then knight h4 and queen f6 is threatened. Yeah, this looks excellent for black. And funny is that if there's g4, black can take on g4. Yeah, this is an echo of the sacrifice on g4 that Carlsen played in the original tournament game when Naiditsch had beat Carlsen. Yeah, I think black is in very good shape. White pieces on b3, c3, they don't really look great. Yeah, that will be very difficult for Naiditsch to defend. Maybe knight e2 or something. Knight e2, bishop f3, bishop takes b4. It looks totally sick, but I don't know. I don't really see any way to untangle for white. No, I don't see how he will untangle. Maybe knight e2 is an idea. But knight e2, you can take on f3, bishop b4, knight f3 or something. It's really not really good. And g4 I think is probably losing. g4, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop g4. An ugly move like rook e3, yeah, covering f3 is answered by bishop c5. I don't know. Naiditsch is out of moves here. That's really an awkward position. Tja. If g4 is not possible, then that's it. Very nice. Bishop g4, bishop h5 is a very, it seems like a very, very strong move or strong maneuver. Yeah, someone in the ICC chat says knight b1 is the computer move. That's actually quite logical. Knight b1. If you once you see it, bishop d2, knight d2 to cover f3. Funny. And knight b1. If the bishop moves to c5, you have bishop e3, and then you can go to d2. Yeah, knight b1 is a very strong move, but very difficult. I mean, very strong. It keeps stuff together, let's say, and difficult to find. Someone asks, isn't it just a position where you play g4 without thinking? Yeah, if you play g4, it could be just lost. Probably it is. Yeah, g4, knight g4 takes, bishop takes. This pin is deadly. Knight h4, queen f6. You won't ever pin this and pin this knight. g3 went. I mean, here you can always think of just king h8. Yeah, king h8, move the knight, play f5. if everything else fails, you can do that. But what about Queen d7? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe king h8. g3 is a move that it's really not doing very much. And I don't see a big threat that white has. Unsure. g3 is not such a bad defensive move. It just makes sure that knight h4 is not coming. So maybe king h8. King h8, knight h7, f5. This kind of idea. You need to unpin the f-pawn. I like that idea. I probably would play it in a blitz game, but it's maybe not the best continuation. Queen d7, king g2. No, it's still fairly solid for white. I was actually referring to the ICC chat. Just a coincidence that someone wrote knight b1 at the same time that it was posted in the Twitch chat. Okay, so what should black do? My suggestion was king h8 to prepare f5. And of course he can play a ton of other moves. Yeah, bishop to c5, he can take on c3. And many ways to play. Yeah, but I like to. Okay, d5. Yeah, of course you can always play in the center. Just for playing d4, grab space. But let's see. It's very complicated now. White still cannot play g4, I guess. Yeah, maybe white takes looks very tricky. Yeah, g4 was stronger than g3 was stronger than g4 because g4 black could sacrifice on g4 and g3 was covering h4, so it was a pretty decent defensive move. Yeah, I mean, if white takes on d5 now, he really gives up the center, so he has to sort of keep things protected. King g2, we are covering f3, and now black can go d4, gaining space, or he can take on e4, but this is a bit lame. Yeah, maybe really d4, or a strengthening move like rook e8. This is always possible, just strengthening the central formation. Yeah, maybe that one. Maybe rook e8 is a good move. But I think black has some selection. Or some choice, is a better word. It's not that black only has one way to go. d4, rook e8, all those moves look decent. At one point, however, you have to reckon that white maybe still play g4. So nothing that is completely out of the picture. Yeah, I like rook e8, but okay, d4 is also not bad, gaining more space. Or moves like a5 is also not bad, threatening to take on c3 and play a4. There are some interesting ways to play for black. Hard to determine, yeah, and this is often the situation where the really strong players are much better than the decent ones. Yeah, I would probably make decent moves, but not the best ones, while Carlsen comes up with the best ones very frequently. So we can be curious what he's doing there. I'm a bit surprised that he takes so much time, because it's not a situation where you feel like, yeah, you have to find the absolute best move. I mean, something like rook e8 looks very normal. Yeah, he went for the d4 push. Yeah, which is of course okay for black, but it's not very likely that black will win now quickly or anything. Yeah, what about this now? What should black do? I'm not so sure about d4. The more I look at it, yeah, it looks a bit curious with the king there on f3. But the bishop on b3 is not a totally bad piece. Okay, he's aiming to exchange it immediately. That's very good. Knight c5, yeah, trying to trade off this this bishop. So knight c5, bishop a2. Okay. Huh. I don't know. I kind of feel that maybe white is not in such bad shape now. If white is given some time, this bishop is not a bad piece. So on a2, f5. It must be something. Yeah, Carlsen went for f5. He has to be quick now. And using his, the knight on e2 is a bad piece, and you have to be quick now. If white is given time, yeah, if white is given time, he would be okay. But this is an awkward situation now for white. The rook is coming to f5, and then maybe like queen f6, rook f8. Yeah. That's tricky. Black is just quick. That's important. Very, very good timing. A bit mystified what Naiditsch is doing here. He has to take, right? Yeah, he has to take. Rook f1. Tja, black will probably pile up on the f-file, like queen f6, rook f8, unless this is blundering, blundering stuff. This would be very normal. Yeah, queen f6, rook f8 looks like the way to go. Yeah, the thing is, white is passive. Yeah, the f2 is a weakness. The knight on e2 is weak. It doesn't have anything great to go. And this bishop a2, which I liked, with some justification, now is also looking into thin air. It could have been a good piece if white actually managed to play like f4 himself. But black was too quick. He got in f5, and this is just very awkward now. How does white defend against rook f8, piling up with 3 heavy pieces on f2? I don't see how. Yeah, f4, you have to do some kind of desperate measure. What now? e4 is not on. Yeah, black will probably take. Maybe e takes f. No, it's not possible, right? But Carlsen is just putting everything he has on the f-file. Yeah, that looks very nice for black. Yeah, but how should he actually play? If you take on f4 now, is this okay? Or does white have a good defense against that? Not so easy. Yeah, h5, aiming for h4, yeah? Trying to dislodge the g3 pawn so that you can win f4 at the end. Interesting. Yeah, but Naiditsch did a good job here in fighting. He's worse, of course, but it's still a very complicated, somewhat double-edged situation where black can also go wrong. Probably he won't, but it's not simple to play. Yeah, h4 looks very much in line what black did before. The idea h4, g4, and then take on f4. Yeah, they are getting low on time. Note that this is just a 2-second increment, which is very important. It's not like they have like 10 minutes and 10-second increment. But okay, so g4, knight f4. Yeah, so this game is somehow still continuing. White is hanging on. Can he... What happens if he moves the king, actually? Can he move the king? King h2, knight e2, rook f5, and white wins. King h2, rook g5. Maybe king h2. Yeah, king h2. And it continues. Knight f4 takes rook f1. Yeah, trying to get back the f4 pawn. What is Naiditsch doing here? He's really fighting here like a lion. Yeah, that's really nice. And rook, nah, not rook f4, but now h4 hangs. Oh, I'm betting on Naiditsch now. Wow, that's cool. He fought his way out of this, and now h4 is dropping. Amazing. Yeah, I think white wins. I think white is somehow winning this. Bishop f5. And now rook e8. Wow. Knight f6, g5, and resigns. I know it's hard to believe, but Naiditsch seems to win this game. Okay, queen's traded. Funny, so rook e8 still. Huh. Oh, is Carlsen just about holding? Doesn't really, cannot really believe that. So if we do a count, it's equal material. Then knight on f8 is really in trouble. But how is white? The rook on h4? It's not clear what it is doing. Probably have to go rook f4. Yes, trade this defending rook, and then try to get rook b8 and winning the b7 pawn. Yeah, this is not completely clear because white has these chances with the h and g pawn against a somewhat clumsy knight. It's not completely obvious what's going on. Not sure about the time situation. It's not clear that this broadcast is totally accurate. Oh, did he give up the b pawn? He did. Wow. Yeah, white is better now again. Naiditsch is a super tricky customer. Really, he's very often underestimated because with this 2,700 nothing rating, he's like number 50 in the world, but he is very tricky. I have watched him play a death match, this Blitz event against Luke Van Vele, and he was like lost in every other game, and he won almost all games. Yeah, white is winning now. That's cool. Yeah, white is winning with the connected passes. Crazy. So we might get a blitz game coming. Yeah, the two connected passes will win. Yeah, rook d6. Oh, yeah, okay, you can push. I'm sorry. Yeah, those two pawns decide the day. So Naiditsch fought his way out of this really bad position. I cannot really tell you how he did it, but he did. Cool. cool. So we get another game, at least one more game, maybe more, I don't know. Probably with blitz time control. So we get additional games, probably 5+2 or something. Let's see. I hope that the game is coming up quickly, and that we don't have to wait more. Yeah, funny. Yeah, Naiditsch is somehow a guy that is doing well against Carlsen. I don't really know why. I cannot tell you why, but he's fighting like crazy and not giving up. Okay, cool. So this is a 1-1 after the rapid games, if we can call it rapid. It's really more like a blitz game, yeah, 10+2. But okay, we probably will get, I don't know what it is, 5+2, 3+2. We can, yeah, let's have a surprise there. I don't know what the actual time control is. Maybe the players don't know either. But it will happen pretty quickly. There's no reason to do any delay now or whatever. They will pretty much continue right away. I don't know if it's 2 games or if it is an Armageddon game, this kind of thing. Ah yeah, 2 games, 5+2. So we have probably more than 20 minutes of more action between the 2 players. What we shouldn't forget, by the way, is that they both have played complete round today. Yeah? They have played, I don't know how long the games were, but they played fully fledged games, not like a draw after 10 moves. So they both are certainly tired. It's 11 in the evening in Germany, so it is late. Yeah, there's a request. Can I show the? Yeah, I cannot really show the last couple of moves because we are set up for the next game already. As you see, the names have been switched here and so on. So it's up. It will happen pretty quickly now that we see the blitz games. Carlsen with white now. Let's see, 5+2. Yeah, it's somewhat longish blitz time control. I do like increment, really, but I like 3+2 actually. Also in over the board chess. Ah yeah, okay, we now learn that we would get an Armageddon game in case of a tie again. Let's see. I need something to drink here. My voice is really strained after working a whole day with talking all the time. Okay, let's see. Yeah, anything can happen, obviously, it seems. Yeah, Naiditsch is a guy, you really have to kill him like 3 or 4 times in a game. I never played him, actually. But as I mentioned, I watched this very long blitz match against Luke van Vele. And it's amazing. He was like lost in tons of games, and he won a lot by all kinds of tricks. Okay, so another BOGO. Maybe. Naiditsch is playing this very often. Let's see if we get the same line, or is he castling now? No, again b6. Okay, e3. This is a very, very solid line for white. Not really hoping for much of an advantage, but it's of course something that you can play without any knowledge behind it, yeah, just to get a game going. Okay, so I don't really like that for white, to be honest. But okay, we'll see. It's an IQP position where lots of things happened on the queen side. And white might be able to use the c6 square. Yeah, someone is requesting I should drink a German beer. I don't have any beer here. I'm drinking actually some water with apple juice in it. Okay, so white has an isolated queen pawn and he doesn't have much active play. I like black in this position. Isn't black really okay here? Okay, b6 is a weakness, of course, that needs to be attended. Knight f6 to d5 maybe, yeah, is an idea to improve the d7 knight to d5. Yeah, I would play knight to f6 and blunder something, probably. No, I don't think this is a blunder. Yeah, Naiditsch is taking quite some time. I don't know what he's thinking of. Yeah, this kind of thing. I was just thinking about it. If you can harass white here a little bit, because there are some problems with c4, f3, and the rook on c8 looking at the c4, like knight f, like bishop f3, rook c4, this kind of thing. Interesting. I really don't know. Is this good for black? Yeah, trading off some pieces is definitely in black's interest, and white is left without knights, which is not a bad thing, as c6 is very often a good outpost for a knight, and white doesn't have any knight left. Yeah, but still, I have a hard time to believe that white should be substantially worse. But it's not much fun to play. Not much fun to play. Knight to f6, bishop, knight f6 to d5, bishop f6. These are all natural, simple moves. Also, like bishop f6, knight e7, knight f5 is an idea. Attacking d4. There, that looks nice. That looks nice. I think black is definitely okay here. Yeah, funny rook on b4. It's active, but also has to be a bit cautious that you're not getting it trapped somehow. But bishop a3 now. There's knight c3, yeah, a fork. Yeah, there's a question if I think that Carlsen is somewhat not enthusiastic after losing the second game. Yeah, he's probably not in a good mood, but okay, what can you do? It happens. It happens. Have to play this game. Not much use in thinking of the game before that. What about queen c2 here? What is black doing after that? I don't know. Rook f3 or something. I don't know where the rook is going after queen c2. Queen c2, rook b4, bishop a3 looks kind of problematic. So probably to f3. That looks crazy. Crazy rook. King g2. Okay, he's trying to trap it, yeah? Intending queen c2. Yeah, king g2. It just takes away the f3 square. Okay, so what is Naiditsch's idea? Queen c2, he's going to play what exactly? Queen b4 maybe, yeah? Just queen b4. Yeah, maybe you can play queen b4 in this position. I really don't see what else is there. Yeah, queen b4. It's funny, this rook on b3, but it is not clear to me how white is going to use this fact that okay, he's insisting on the bishop a3 ad. Yeah, maybe this was a good move. I really don't know. Bishop a3. But still, you have queen c3. Not quite sure what black should do. Bishop a3 is... so bishop a3 is playing queen c3, right? Yeah, it all seems to hold. What a weird position. Yeah, queen c3, as funny as it looks, but it holds. It really holds. At least, I mean, I don't see anything, and we will see in the game if Carlsen has found anything great. I thought just rook c3 now, or yeah, rook c3. Yeah, and bishop a3, and this should be okay, isn't it? Should be okay. Yeah, I can bishop a3, right? I'm not sure if I'm overlooking anything, but I think black can just take a3, and I don't see any big problem. White might have some desperado, but it's not really a big problem. Okay, so he took with the rook. Can do that. Yeah, I really don't think there's anything going on. Black is totally okay. Even there, bishop e6. This is the only kind of idea, but nothing that is very scary, because black has this activity. Rook c4. He's not going to lose that one. It's actually, yeah, that's a draw. That's a draw. I mean, if anybody, I would actually prefer black because of the active rook, but it is a draw. Yeah, I think it's a draw. White will lose the d4 pawn, and not much going on. He's tight. Yeah, okay, this is probably not bad. Yeah, activating and making sure that you actually draw as white. Yeah, this is pretty dead. They will continue. They will continue, but yeah, good job by Naiditsch holding this as black. I don't really think we can. No, this will end in a draw. And okay, they actually agreed to a draw here. That's good. We didn't. They didn't try anything stupid here. It's increment chess, so nothing like banging the clock for 2 minutes would help anything. It's just a draw. Okay, so the first blitz game, Naiditsch is black. He held it, and now we will see what happens with colors reversed. Naiditsch will get white in the final game. And with a draw by Naiditsch with white, we get an Armageddon game. And in case of a win, the winner wins the whole thing. So we will see what happens. Yeah, someone in the chat on ICC says that Naiditsch has a bad blitz rating in the FIDE blitz rating list. Yeah, the thing is that this list is very questionable. They don't rate many games, and yeah, it's pretty much a non-information. I mean, Carlsen is the #1 blitz player in terms of rating, which shows that he's pretty strong. But I don't think that if Naiditsch has got 2,600 and and Carlsen has got almost 3,000, he doesn't score like 90% or something. It's not happening. Naiditsch is a bit better than that. He just probably doesn't play much. In terms of FIDE-rated blitz. Yeah, let's see. How do they decide colors for the Armageddon game? It's normally used by done by a coin toss or things like that. But we're not that far. We have to look at or watch this final blitz game first. And the way the match went, we don't know. Maybe Naiditsch is really putting the big upset here. He's got one very important virtue. He's absolutely not afraid of anybody, even in cases where he probably should be afraid. He simply isn't. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, will we get another 4 knights or Berlin? It didn't really help very much. Yeah, maybe Naiditsch is going for d4. He can play d4. It's not like he has no idea about the move. Or he can play knight f3. Any move. But e4 is the most likely thing. Yeah, maybe something like e4, e5, bishop c4, or some kind of sideline. I don't really expect a Berlin mainline or so, but you never know. I mean, Naiditsch might also think, okay, play something very simple and go for an Armageddon game. I mean, against the Berlin, White can basically draw at will if he wants. There are many lines to do that. So let's see. Again, we got the Berlin, and let's see what Naiditsch is doing. Something like this. Rook e1, for example, is a very drawish line. But okay, we got the end game. Or maybe Naiditsch just has something funny prepared, like bishop a4 or a4 or this kind of thing. You never know. So we get the actual end game. Okay. Yeah. This is the most... Oh, 9c4. That's a very rare move by Naiditsch. Huh, interesting. Let's see what happens. When I was studying the Berlins like 10 years ago, putting a pawn on c4 is quite often not such a great idea, because the pawns quite often can be attacked long term by the light squared bishop. Yeah, if we think about a deep end game with bishop f5, b1, a2, yeah, the pawns can be a problem. Yeah, so remember my words. If black will pick up those pawns on light squares, I told you. Yeah, okay, this is just a little joke, but it sometimes can happen. Quite often, pushing those pawns is not really a great idea. I don't really get White's setup in this position, but this is nothing out of the ordinary. Those Berlin Wall kind of positions are very difficult to understand. So what is White's idea? Maybe its idea is to play g4, knight moves, and then knight d4, this kind of thing. Interesting. So h5, black decided that he wants to avoid g4. Yeah? Carlsen does not want to see g4. Okay. Rook to d1. Yeah, as usual, the the Berlin Wall problem is that black hasn't got his rooks connected. He cannot castle. So he has to make sure that he somehow gets play for this rook on h8. Not so easy. Sometimes you can activate the rook by means of like h4, rook h5, or rook to h6. Not quite sure if this is a spot for this. Oh, very interesting. He just went b5. Interesting. So he's directly attacking the pawns, which I expected to happen, but somewhat later in the endgame. But he's directly trying to make use of this light squared bishop, which makes sense. This is the bishop that was basically given to black as the extra bishop. So he tries to play on the light squares, attacking the pawns. Okay, knight g5. Interesting. So what should black do now? Just retreat it. If you take on c4, white will take on e6 first. Yeah, if black moves the bishop away, let's say to c8, there's always this possible idea of e6, e5, e6. Not sure what black should do. Taking on c4, knight takes e6 looks a bit better for white. Not the end of the world, but looks better for white. Yeah, unsure. I'm not a Berlin expert, I really don't. So I cannot give you a clear idea what black should do. Taking on c4 looks somewhat uninspiring. So he just took there. Of course, yeah, why not? The bishop on e7 doesn't look like a great piece. Probably a good idea. Just keeps b5 protected and allows this knight takes e6 structure, playing with the bishop against playing with the knight on f5 against the bishop. The bishop on b2 is a tricky piece. It's always just looking at this e5 pawn, not being very active. So not clear that this bishop is such a great piece. I think white will probably not take on e6, but try something else. For example, knight e4 to c5, this kind of idea could be interesting. Of course c4 hangs, so not so easy to do. Yeah, but of course white is totally okay. He can always just take d8, take e6, continue from there. He's never ever worse, let's say. Okay, bishop c3. This is, I think, it's not a pure waiting move. There's maybe bishop a5 possible. Bishop a5, yeah. Interesting. c5. Yeah, now knight e4 gets much more interesting. Knight e4 to c5. Yeah, if this is a draw again, then we would have this Armageddon game. A game, just one game with 5 minutes against 4 minutes, where white has to win. It's not a very great way to decide things, as black is usually the one for choice with the draw odds. But there needs to be some kind of decider to end those kind of matches. Okay, so c5. What is white going to do? Knight e4, attacking the pawn, or is there something interesting? Yeah, but knight e4, I'm going to take on c4. I still think this is very, very drawish. It would be surprised if white has anything substantial. Yeah, takes on c4, takes on c5. Yeah, of course, white is somewhat better, but hard to imagine it's not happening. Yeah, A and C pawn are weaker than B pawn and E pawn. That's clear. The knight on c5 is very very nice in covering b3. Yeah, A takes b3, I would think. Somehow he's not moving. Ah yeah, bishop b4 might be a move. Maybe bishop b4 is some kind of tactic. It threatens knight b7 check, intending rook d8 mate. Okay, but he didn't play it. Interesting. So b4, rook b6, yeah. Yeah, white is more comfortable, but is white able to get anywhere substantial? Hard to believe. Maybe bishops, yeah, no. Bishop c4. Yeah, you can do that, but now rook d7 is in the mix. So bishop b5 maybe. Bishop to b5 to cover d7, cover a6. Yeah, that looks very decent. And now, if black manages to trade his f5 knight against the c5 knight, he pretty much equalizes completely. This is something that definitely would help black, but not so easy to do. I can go g6, g6, knight g7, knight e6, but it's not clear that it is totally necessary. I mean, white is not threatening very much. I think the likelihood of a draw is still very, very high in this position. h4. This probably prepares rook to g6. Yeah, okay, here a5 is a possibility. He allows rook d7, but this is not really a big problem. Knight will regroup to d5. Yeah, black is okay here. He will never lose this. No, never ever. There are questions about those streams where they can be found recorded. They are on the channels of, on the Twitch channels of the ICC in the archives. And I have them on my personal YouTube channel as well. Almost all of them. There are some streams that are completely exclusive for ICC that I don't put on my channel, but most of them are. Yeah, knight d5, attacking on b4. So black now has equalized totally, and is even a little bit more comfortable. But still, it should be a draw. Okay. So e5 was given up for some reason. Don't really know why, but and now black is 2 pawns up. I don't really understand what happened here. Maybe it's still a draw actually, with opposite colored bishops. Knight c6, there was knight d3 fork. That is crazy now. The knight doesn't have many squares. This is a problem. Still drawing chances for white. As weird as it sounds, but there are still drawing chances because of opposite colored bishops. Can you believe that? The knight is trapped. Okay, king g2, g4, yeah, great trick. Naiditsch again, fighting like no tomorrow. And he will draw this game, yeah, probably. Or is he still trapping the bishop? No, he's not trapping it. It will end in a draw, I believe. Wow, big fight. Yeah, there's funny chat on ICC with flagging and stuff, but they probably don't have this this problem. Okay, black is a pawn up, but it still should be a draw. I'm still pretty confident about that. Of course, if anybody wins, it's black, but the drawing chances are pretty high. Let's see, maybe black can still win. Bishop e7, bishop e3 run into forks, so he couldn't do that. Yeah, a very tense match, right? I guess many people wouldn't have imagined that Naiditsch could put up such a big fight, but yeah, he has his moments. Let's see. Yeah, and white will draw. Yeah, can just take e5, takes e4 for the draw. So we will get the Armageddon game. Isn't this funny? Very big fight. I wasn't really expecting to do such a long stream tonight, but it happens. So we have bare kings in this game. Great fight, and yeah, an Armageddon game is going to come up. Let's see. Yeah, they will probably use some kind of like a coin toss or something to see who's going to have black. Normally they toss the coin or something in that effect to determine the player who can then choose what he wants to have, white or black. Normally black is chosen because it feels that it's easier to draw than to try to play for a win, force a win with white. So it's there's some luck involved, but I'm not totally sure about the statistic. I think black is normally really also statistically speaking doing better in this scenario with the draw odds, but I have heard that some players actually take white and place this burden upon them to really win the game. Yeah, so we get to the Armageddon stage. One key moment of this little match of now 4 games certainly was the second game that Naiditsch won after a very intense battle, and yeah, now it's completely open. What can you say? Just one Armageddon game, 5 against 4 without any increments. It's going to start very quickly. Yeah, some people in the chat here on ICC say Naiditsch deserves the win because he won the original tournament game against Carlsen. I actually do agree. This always should be the first tiebreaker. Yeah, if you are tied with one guy and you are actually have beaten him, you should win the event. I'm not complaining. I like the playoffs. Why not? It's a good thing. But yeah, if you have a tiebreak system, in effect, the direct encounter is certainly a good one. So let's see who's got what. So it seems that Carlsen has got white, so maybe Naiditsch won the coin toss and went for black. I don't know. But it means that the world champion will get white in the final sudden death. No, Armageddon is the name. The final Armageddon game. Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, needs a win with the white pieces against Arkady Naiditsch, or Naiditsch wins the tournament. So it's all down to one final game. Okay, it seems it is 5 against 6 and not 4 against 5. Not clear. This is wrong. The clock here is wrong, definitely. Black has 1 minute less. Yeah, having 1 more minute and draw odds is a little bit much. So black has 4 minutes, not 6 minutes. That should be adjusted here in the broadcast, definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry about the slight distortion here of the board. I can actually improve it a little bit. Now it's a little bit better. Okay, so white must win. What is Carlsen going to do? I'm pretty sure he will still play d4 and do some, yeah, try to play against the Bogo again, something like that, or maybe allow the Nimzo, this kind of thing. Would be surprised if he goes for e4, but you never know. Okay, e4. Oh, a Sicilian. So Naiditsch tries to draw with a Sicilian. Interesting. Okay, not quite sure what he plays. I think he plays the knight off, but it's been a while. Okay, g3. So we gotta get a pretty solid kind of knight off, a positional kind of knight off. Let's see, white is clamping down on the d5 square, so not a very aggressive formation, but very often those kind of slow formations are the good ones. They keep the tension in the position. They don't allow any simplifications. What we should note is that the clock times are bogus here. I mean, definitely Naiditsch does not have 6 minutes. This is wrong. He has to be on 4 minutes, or, I mean, Carlsen has an extra minute to compensate for the draw odds. So definitely not correct. The time should be adjusted. Okay, so queen takes d5, the a8 rook is attacked, it has to move, and white will still try to do something on the d5 square, but it's not much in any case. Black is in a fairly solid position here. I think he's really okay. Yeah, bishop b7 maybe. Yeah, I cannot go bishop e6 as a6 is hanging. Okay. White wants to play a very slow game. Rook d1, b3, bishop a3, this kind of thing. A6 is actually hanging. Why is white not able to take it? Yeah, maybe because of rook c8. The queen is in a trap. Okay, he took it. Interesting. Did he just blunder it? Bishop c4 is the idea. Tricky business, right? Queen d3 or back anywhere, bishop c4 is coming. That is a problem. What is white going to do now? Knight d5 maybe, yeah? Just putting it to d5. Okay, so he's sacrificing the exchange. Okay, he's just sacrificing the exchange for the light squares. It's an interesting way to do it. It's just a blitz game, eh? Don't forget that. And white has got very nice light square control. But it's certainly born out of necessity. This is not something that Carlsen really wanted to have. He had to do something like that. Okay, Naiditsch is trying to break up the center immediately and make sure that he's not giving Carlsen long-term squares. But now white has very decent material. Knight takes e4, there was queen takes c2. Yeah, isn't black just better here? I mean, I don't know. Rook e8, bishop c5. Is black okay here? I don't know. White has 2 pawns, but black is active. Yeah, and Naiditsch is not trying to, I don't know, play a passive game and draw the whole thing. He definitely comes out with all guns blazing, let's say. It's not playing passively, but he's not coming up with a move now. Okay, rook d8, just trying to pressurize d5. Difficult. And rook d1 coming. Maybe white is still better, and Naiditsch overdid it a little bit. Maybe. Queen b4. Yeah, this will be decided by concrete tactical things, by concrete calculation. If white is getting the e4 pawn unharmed, he's having a great position. I don't know. I like white now. This bishop f4, rook d1 was strong. Black cannot take on b2 probably due to knight takes e4. I don't know. It was very nice to have the good. I think the clock time is okay now. Naiditsch down to 2 minutes. This does make some sense. It does make some sense. Yeah. Yeah. Very important is white has to win. Yeah. So any kind of perpetuals on the king or so, they are not on. White must win. But it really looks good now, right? Knight e4, isn't white just much better now? Knight takes f6 is threatening. Now this is going downhill for black. Knight f6, and that's it, right? Is this how it was played? Okay, maybe knight f6, king g7. I don't believe it. Queen g5 check, king h8, queen h6, queen c2. Nah. Yeah, someone accuses me of flip-flopping my my evaluation. Yeah, I admit. But it's a very difficult thing. I wonder, by the way, if bishop d3 is a move here. Just threatening knight f6 for queen f7. Yeah, he went for it. For queen h7 mate. And rook e8, knight f6 looks like a win. I don't see how black should defend. He has to play rook e8. Yeah, he has to play rook e8. And now how are we going to win this? Just knight f6. King f8. Yeah, white is winning, but how exactly? What is the most precise way to do it? Rook e1 also was a move, maybe. Yeah, you can just take e8, yeah, if you don't really see anything better. Queen g5 is also a good move, by the way. Queen g5, intending knight h7 checkmate. It's very difficult to fight. Okay, he took there. for queen f6 or rook e1. Yeah, okay, queen f4, that's it. Did he resign? No, but I think that's it, yeah. King f7, bishop f5, king d7, sorry. And here, this is going to be a mate, right? I cannot believe black will survive this. White can also just take the rook. Or bishop b5, whatever. Everything wins now. Yeah, so Carlsen wins this tournament after all. In the closest, or yeah, if this is the right word, the closest possible fashion. Tying in the overall tournament with Arkady Naiditsch. Then they had a playoff which ended 2 against 2. Trading blows in the rapid games, then 2 draws in the blitz games, and then finally an Armageddon blitz game which Carlsen managed to win after some very weird complications that were very difficult to assess. I don't really know. He did resign, right? I don't see the actual... Yeah, now there's the message that Black actually did resign. Yeah, so this was a much longer broadcast than originally intended. We never knew that this playoff would come to an Armageddon stage. So ultimately they played almost 2 hours of rapid and blitz chess, surprisingly. Yeah, okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It was a somewhat out of the ordinary thing. We really pretty at a late stage only saw that this playoff was perhaps actually happening, so it wasn't a planned thing. No, I won't play any more blitz after being online for almost 2 hours, already doing overtime. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of impromptu, if this is a word, coverage of the Grenke Chess Classics playoff between world champion Magnus Carlsen and the German #1 Arkady Naiditsch. Naiditsch put up a great fight, but at the end the world champion actually won the whole thing. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm off for today, and I'm back, by the way, for another stream for the ISSC in 2 days on Wednesday, the same time as it was today. Okay guys, thanks for watching.